So how does it work?
I don't know. I don't know. I mean, it looks like it should work on mine too. It isn't. So I just reset it to go up.
Good morning, everybody. This is Scott Sharp. I'm one of the forecasters here at the National Weather Service in Raleigh, and I'll be conducting the weekly briefing here for Central North Carolina. And we'll begin that briefing here in about 1 minute.
The broadcast is now starting. All attendees are in listen-only mode.
Okay, again, good morning and a belated happy Easter, y'all. This is Scott Sharp. I'm one of the forecasters here at the National Weather Service in Raleigh. And I'm showing a time now of 11:31, so we'll go ahead and get started with the weekly briefing for Central North Carolina. And this will run for the period today through next Sunday, April 8th. And the weather pattern this week, sort of what typical for early spring here across the southeast U.S. We will have a weak cold front go through the region this afternoon. Can't rule out the possibility of a stray sprinkle or shower, but most of the area will be dry. Before the front gets here, though, relatively warm temperatures here across the Piedmont and the Sandhills and coastal plain. Expecting temperatures this afternoon well in the 70s with lower 80s common across the southern Piedmont, Sandhills, and southern coastal plain. Maybe just a touch cooler near the Virginia border where the front will be coming through the region here any time now. Our weather systems for this week will be centered on two different parts of the week. The first one will be middle week on Wednesday when we do have a cold front that will come across the area on Wednesday. And there will be a small threat for some severe weather with this system on Wednesday. Relatively tranquil weather for Thursday and Friday as we have an area of weak high pressure here off the coast will nose here into the southeast U.S. And then we'll have a frontal system will come in for the weekend, and it looks like that will bring another threat for some rainfall for the area, especially Saturday and early Sunday. Again, taking a look at our severe weather potential. Nothing for today. Maybe some general thunder on Tuesday, but that may be more Tuesday night, early Wednesday for portions of our western Piedmont. So most of Tuesday and Tuesday evening will be dry here across central North Carolina. For the threat on Wednesday, it's just a marginal risk right now. Our instability is lacking quite a bit. And with the front coming in during the morning to early afternoon hours, it looks like our chances for destabilization will not be as great as it would be if the front were to come in, let's say, like closer to late afternoon or early evening. So again, right now, just a marginal threat. The main severe weather hazards we're looking at for this system will be some marginally large hail, possibly up to the size of quarters or ping pong ball size hail. So our freezing level is kind of low. Our freezing level is somewhere between 9,500 to 10,000 feet above the surface. So if you get a really good updraft, there's potential for some hail with some of the stronger storms. And then the wind field would be pretty robust with this system. So we could see some wind gusts anywhere from 50 to 60 miles an hour with some of the stronger storms. Will all storms produce this? No, just a few of these storms will produce winds up to about 50 to 60 miles an hour and marginally large hail. I did note, though, that the rainfall with this system actually looks a little spotty, too. So if you get a shower, you'll be one of the lucky ones. There's a possibility that some locations on Wednesday may not get any rainfall at all. And speaking of rainfall for the week, again, here's our looking at how much rainfall to anticipate for the upcoming week or so. And again, if you look on Wednesday, the overall general rainfall pattern is no more than a tenth to maybe up to a quarter of an inch. So again, relatively light rainfall amounts with the system on Wednesday. Our better chances for a widespread rainfall will be during the weekend, especially Saturday and Saturday night and early Sunday, where a large part of central North Carolina can see anywhere from a half to maybe up to an inch of rainfall with the system for the weekend. Now, taking a look ahead at the next week potentially, we're going to continue our pattern of a little bit below normal temperatures, it looks like. We had a relatively cool March, and looks like we will have a cooler period coming up here for next week with looks like chances of being a little bit above normal to see temperatures below normal for this time of year, and then it looks like a relatively wet period as well, with it looks like chances more than likely we'll see above normal rainfall for the period 8 to 14 days, and that will run us into the middle of April. So for the summary, a relatively quiet week. There will be a threat for a few severe storms on Wednesday. That potential looks best east of US 1 from late morning to about mid-afternoon hours or so. So here along the US 1 corridor, places from like Henderson to Raleigh, down to Southern Pines, the best chance for seeing some strong storms will be from 10 o'clock to about 1 o'clock in the afternoon. Then as you progress into the coastal plain along the I-95 corridor from Fayetteville up to Wilson, Rocky Mount, up to Halifax, that chance will be anywhere from, let's say, 1 to 4 o'clock. I think after 4 or 5 o'clock, the way things are progressing right now, the chances for severe will start to dwindle pretty quickly. Behind the front, expect cooler than normal conditions for Thursday and into the weekend. And again, right now, it looks like our greatest chance for widespread rainfall will be this weekend. And on a side note, this past March was rather cool. We saw maximum temperatures averaging anywhere from 5.5 to 7 degrees below normal for March. But looking at the monthly averages, though, we did not hit the top 5 for the coolest March on record. So again, we were not in the top 5, but it was a rather cool March with temperatures again averaging anywhere from 5.5 to 7 degrees below normal. That is about it for the weekly briefing. If there's any questions, I'll be glad to take those now. I see a question here about the possibility about snow on Saturday. That is way far too out. It's out way too out in the future. If this was a system that was happening in January and February, I said, yeah, that may be a possibility. But look at it, folks. We're in early April now. So I think the idea of having snow on Saturday is way too early to even speculate right now at this time. Okay, and not seeing any more questions right now. So that appears to be about it. If you do have any questions later on, you know how to contact us. Again, we thanks for your help out there in the field, because you are our eyes out there, so we do appreciate that. And hope you all have a good and safe week. Take care.
The word's getting out.